This is an update on my Caigua plant. I'd pretty much written it off in the summertime, going into the fall here, because it just looked so pitiful during the summertime. But I tell you what, it's really taken off. I just harvested a bunch of fruit off of it. It's pretty much a cucumber relative. I've been having a bunch of powdery mildew issues anytime I try to do squash or cucumbers, any of the varieties in that family. And it pretty much just, the powdery mildew is so bad, it takes over the plant, kills it before I get any fruit. So I looked up and I heard a lot of good things about this plant. I think it's a South American plant. It's probably the plant that our current cucumbers came from. But like I said, it doesn't have any powdery mildew issues. And there's the fruit. And you know, it went from just these tiny little flowers here to the fruit in no time. You can see the little teeny ones here. So even though I just harvested, there's a bunch more on here. I'm gonna let them stay on there, even though we're gonna have a frost in the next 2 days. But we'll see what happens. If it hits the plant too hard, I'll come back out here and harvest the rest of it. But there's a bunch of big ones still in there. You can see one over there. You can see a couple over there. See that monster? So there's a bunch in here. I used to have great plants here, and they just didn't do well, so I just left that same trellis and put a little bed down here, put a little extra soil. I don't know if you can see it, but I got these tomato plant supports that I just put there and let the Caigua grow up them, and then hit this trellis and grow across it. So two Caigua plants put off all this foliage. You have to do a little bit of training throughout the summer, but once you get it started, it just takes over. Like I said, I was looking pitiful all summer, and once this fall hit, it took off. But you can see I just harvested a crap load here. Got my last of my persimmons, my Fuyu persimmon. I've got a persimmon tree in my side yard that I've got a native U.S. persimmon root base that the Fuyu persimmon, which is I think a Japanese persimmon, is grafted on top of it, and that gives you the hardiness of the root base of the native, but the fruit production of this Fuyu, which they're like 10 times, 5 times bigger than ours. It's not astringent, so you can harvest it before it ripens like an apple. But these guys really took off here. I think this is the giant variety too. That's why they're so big. They taste a lot like cucumbers, and from what I've read, you can pickle them, put them on salads. If they get real big, they get a little tough like a regular cucumber. So I've heard you can stuff them once they get big. So you can let them get really big and stuff them with meat or cheese or whatever you want to. Kind of treat them like a pepper. But I'm gonna let the frost come through this weekend. See what I got left. If it keeps growing, I'll let it grow and finish harvesting the rest here in a couple weeks. And then I've got some sunchokes. You can't really see them in there, but on the sides here, that's sunchokes that grew up through it. So I should have a bunch of sunchokes underneath here too. So this Caigua and sunchokes combination worked pretty good. Peace out.